We're all wondering how the Republican Party, the party of Abraham Lincoln, got to the point that it has an elected member of Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has suggested Nancy Pelosi could be executed for treason, cast doubt on the events of 9/11, and speculated that a Jewish cabal used lasers to start California's wildfires. The answer is in plain sight: the continual accommodation of extremism by the party's leaders. This week, the Republican Congressional Caucus declined to censure Greene in any way. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy pretended not to even know what QAnon was. In the Senate, Mitch McConnell has finally drawn the line, describing Greene's views as loony. But it is too little, too late. The party has been encouraging loony views for years. Today, we rightly applaud Mitt Romney for his political courage. But it's worth recalling that when he was running for president in 2012, he craved Donald Trump's endorsement. When he got it, he gushed.
There are some things that you just can't imagine happening in your life.
Later that year, Romney tacitly endorsed Trump's most noxious lie, birtherism.
No one's ever asked to see my birth certificate. They know that this is the place that we were born and raised.
The real big lie at the heart of the modern Republican Party, though, is about public policy, not conspiracy theories. Since the 1930s, Republicans promised their voters the repeal of FDR's New Deal. When the next Republican president, Dwight Eisenhower, did nothing of the sort, the modern conservative movement emerged, furiously branding Ike a traitor. When LBJ enacted the Great Society, conservatives pledged that once elected, they would tear it all down, and never did. Ronald Reagan launched his political career by denouncing Medicare as a direct path to socialism. If passed, he famously warned,
"You and I are going to spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free."
Of course, as president for 8 years, Reagan left Medicare largely intact and actually ended up expanding the program. In the early 1990s, House Leader Newt Gingrich doubled down on a rhetoric of radicalism and extremism. He promised revolution and described political opponents as the embodiment of evil, who win only because they lie and cheat. E.J. Dionne has described the toxic results of this strategy as the politics of disappointment and betrayal. Ted Cruz follows the same strategy today still. His 2016 platform included promises to repeal Obamacare, abolish the IRS, and balance the budget, plans that he knew could never get enacted. But they were just the right red meat for the base. He treats his supporters like cannon fodder, whipping them into hysteria and sending them into battle. The Republican Party endlessly crowed about repealing and replacing Obamacare, only to come to power without any viable plan, and then quickly accommodated itself to the reality it had vowed to overturn. This entire decades-long strategy has led millions of Republicans to feel cheated and lied to by their leaders, creating an atmosphere of paranoia and suspicion toward anyone who is not utterly extreme. It also feeds the notion that true conservatism fails because of some kind of treason, betrayal, or collusion. It is a short and direct line from the tactics of Newt Gingrich to the January 6th Capitol riot. If you're looking for an alternative path for a conservative leader, one who even knows how to appeal to populist and nationalist sentiment, look at British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Johnson, who initially and badly bungled COVID-19, is now tackling the pandemic with much greater seriousness, and he has gradually emerged as the most consequential conservative politician since Margaret Thatcher. He has been slowly but surely reshaping his party to make it more compatible with modern-day Britain. His cabinet is remarkably diverse, with 2 of the 3 most powerful positions filled by Asian Britons. Describing his plans for big spending during the pandemic and after, Johnson admits,
"It sounds like a New Deal. And all I can say is, if that is so, then that is how it's meant to sound and how it's meant to be. Because that is what the times demand. A government that is powerful and determined and that puts its arms around people at a time of crisis.
he adds to these innovations more traditional Thatcherite ideas like efficient government, free trade, and a moral foreign policy.
We will build, build, build. Build back better, build back greener, build back faster.
If Republicans are searching for a conservatism that can work in the modern era, they should first stop lying to their own voters. Then they could look to examples like Britain's to bring their party into the world of facts and reality.